Welcome to episode 90. Good grief. Season 9, episode 6 of Behind the Screen, a GM tips content creation show here at Onyx twitch.tv/the Onyx Path. I believe it's the Onyx Path. I'll just double check. Yes, it is. I'm still here. I'm still going. I apologize for the missed stream last week, but I was on holiday, so I couldn't physically stream. Quick disclaimer, I do not speak for Onyx Path, nor is this project official material. All views and opinions expressed are my own, and this material will be available to buy on StoryPath Nexus. I am merely a grateful fan with a platform. I do experience muscle spasms that can lead to uncomfortable twitching, stuttering, and slurring of speech, depending on which muscle groups that they affect. I'm quite tired, run down, and burned out, so that might be a problem. I'm going to monitor my physical health, and if I need to end the stream early, I will end the stream early. Apologies in advance if that is the case. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can tell if I ended the stream early or not by looking at the runtime. I do also struggle with multiple trains of thought, so if anyone brings anything up in chat, and please, I encourage you to be as active as you wish in the chat room. The writing is just something for me to do when I'm not talking about tips, advice, things of that nature. And as you can see, feel free to ask anything you can think relating to playing or running Onyx Path role-playing games. And I will address as much as I can. And then, finish train of thought. Start the next one. I almost ran out of that train of thought and got distracted myself. Here's where we're at. My name is Ryan. I go at Comrade Bubbles on most places. I'm also available on Start Playing Games and Itch and Drive-Thru as the Moonlit Bard. If you want my own third-party content and original material. But for the purposes of this, we're talking about Onyx Path Publishing, and as ever, the best place to go for news on Onyx Path matters is the Monday meeting notes, or are the Monday meeting notes, I should say. In past seasons of the show, I would go and do a full recap of those. However, that is not what we are doing today. Today, I'm just continuing on with what I've done in the past, highlight the important information, and then start the show. And the important information, the pertinent stuff, what we're all here for, the sweet books. I think this is the right command. There we go. The World Below currently has a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter, featuring the Delver's Guide and the Secrets of Calm and Chaos, Player's Guide, and Story Guide's Handbook, but both contain information for both roles. And that's already funded, so if you back it, you're guaranteed something. But obviously, the more backers, the more material that can be added. And a stretch goal that has been hit is a Westmarch-style adventure for the World Below, focused on exploration and cave delving. And further stretch goals will build on that, or chapters of the adventure, or things of that kind. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, Westmarch-style adventure in a very dark fantasy world, please do consider checking it out and supporting the back kit. If you're interested but not 100% sure, there are a bunch of previews scattered throughout the Monday meeting notes. I think that, however, is the most pertinent information. Those of you who have an interest in such matters, the Twitch schedule today, obviously me, hello, welcome, you made it. That joke never gets old. Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, Guiding the Path. It's kind of like the concept of this show, except instead of talking you through how to write content creation, Tom Moore, fantastic GM, talks about how to story guide, I believe, Curseborn material? The World Below, sorry. Creating characters and building a narrative. That is kind of this is the theory, that's the practice. And again, Tom Moore is a fantastic GM at Story Guide, and everyone should check out that show if they can. Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, The Veiled Society. That's a Scion actual play, and if you like what you see today and you're intrigued by the game that we are talking about. There is, in fact, a Trinity Continuum adventure actual play running at 9 PM Eastern on Mondays called Short Tales. I'm just going to hydrate while I double check any other key information. On sale this week, is a tasty bit for StoryPath Ultra, simply named Troublesome Traps, which you can probably guess what's included in it. And last week, if you missed it, the Curseborn Tasty Bit Omnibus was made available for sale, as well as virtual tabletop tokens and streaming overlays for your online gaming needs. Believe that is all of the key information. Obviously, if anything crops up on the project timeline that I'm personally excited about, I'll probably highlight it, usually because I'm involved in it or know people who are. But I think that's it for today. There will be obviously a recap at the end anyway, but let us continue. So what is this? Good morning / afternoon, Plastic Age Plays to yourself. I hope you're doing well. I saw you were having some health issues recently. Yeah, so this show, content creation, writing, all of that stuff. We're focusing on Trinity Continuum Adventure, because when I originally started the season of the show, there was not much content for Adventure on the StoryPath Nexus, and I took a year off, and I don't think that situation has meaningfully changed. So here we are. Also, you try stopping me write an adventure out punching out Nazis riding robo-dinosaurs. You can't. Just your Wolverine claws going backwards. We love arthritis. Yeah, I have that to look forward to because I have a family history of it, so woohoo! All of that is all well and good, but if you're new to the show, if you're new to Onyx Path Publishing, if you're new to Trinity Continuum, and specifically Trinity Continuum Adventure, you might be wondering why I say Adventure all the time, complete with associated hand gesture. So, let's go back to basics. Very swift recap of the content. Trinity Continuum is a game line, published by Onyx Path Publishing, clearly. That uses the... Sorry, I was going to burp. Uses the StoryPath system. It's a D10 pool-based system. Your character sheet tells you how many D10 you will roll for any action you can think of, and then target numbers and all of that. And the more successes you roll, usually 8, 9, 10, the better. Adventure builds on that. It's a supplement for the core rulebook, which is Trinity Continuum, and Adventure has an exclamation mark on the title, hence the annoying vocal thing. Although sometimes it is just echolalia and it is a vocal tick, and I apologize for that. Vocal stim, sorry. This takes the rules for Trinity Continuum and puts them kind of like 1920s, 1930s pulp fiction era. That is the genre, not the Quentin Tarantino movie. And includes a lot of the tropes of that time. People achieving death-defying feats, Nazis, lost worlds full of dinosaurs and hidden civilizations. And it gives you the tools that you need to play through stories with those themes. That's kind of it. That's the very rushed overview. There are, I believe, plentiful materials out there if you want to look into them on your own time. If you're lucky, maybe there'll be an actual play or two. But that's what we are. That's what we're doing. That's why this adventure is about punching out Nazis riding robo-dinosaurs. So far on the show, I've discussed planning an outline and how you can approach them. Quick disclaimer, I don't typically use an outline or overly plan things. I'm more of an... oh god, what's the online writing term? A pantser. I write by the seat of my pants, to use that delightful American saying. I don't plan too much because I just prefer the organic flow, and if I plan too much I get stuck in my own head. However, the purpose of this is to demonstrate how you can plan and how you can use a plan and an outline to determine content and material, and how you can use that to help deal with scope creep, which is another thing I discussed early on in the season. Scope creep, when you are writing content for yourself, or is incredibly important. You don't want to write too much. There's varying schools of thought about how to prepare material in advance for campaigns and for GMing styles and things of that nature. And particularly my ethos when providing written content for people is for other people to use is keep it as simple and as refined as possible. I would much rather give people the tools to build upon a to build upon a ready-made adventure than to say, here is everything you need for an adventure plus all of the possible side things that could happen to it. One, that's just a lot of work that you probably won't see much return to, and two, no one wants that. I mean, some people might want that, but I think most people will just find that intimidating more than anything. So, good rule of thumb: stick to your core idea, and then just allow space for story seeds to be peppered here and there. This is something Onyx Path do a lot in their rulebooks and other products. Is they have the core thing, but plentiful inspiration for story seeds and ways that the material could be developed on and further. Thank you for the resub, Hot Dog Wizard. Again, I've said it before, and I'll no doubt say it again. That is a fantastic username. But thank you for the resub. We appreciate those 63 months of support. Another thing to address with scope creep, if you are interested in getting into freelance writing, knowing how to keep yourself on target is incredibly important. And while no one has ever confirmed to me that I got my first gigs for Onyx Path because of the show and talking about community content and how to write it and demonstrating I know what I'm talking about, ideally. Being able to hit word counts is important, and being able to not go over them is important. The word counts are there for a reason, usually because page space is limited, and it messes everything up if you don't hit those. If you go over those word counts, you can confirm it didn't hurt. Thank you, Plastic Cage Plays. I appreciate that. As my first developer, I appreciate that vote of confidence. So yeah, scope creep, also transferable skills to just word creep when doing contract work. Then I discussed scene breakdowns and like rough overviews of each scene. Went from a very rough overview of the adventure to here's what each individual scene will feature, and then just started writing the scenes. You're elderly. I mean, age happens to us all. That tempest be fugiting. The hiatus didn't do me any favors, but here we are. I burned out, and then a lot of stuff happened, which meant I didn't recover. I'm still not recovered. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but I wanted to. Finally got scene 1 finished, and last time moved on to scene 2. And we're just going to continue scene 2. Scene 2, according to my project outline, is an investigation scene. And I'm not going to go into my, at this point, Gospel of Bubbles regarding how to write introductory adventures for people to pick up and learn games with. That has been covered multiple times across multiple seasons of the show, including this very season. So I'm going to try to not proselytize about that much more. But yeah, procedural scene. Kind of roughly almost a hex crawl, but not an actual hex crawl. A hex crawl, for those who don't know, is where player characters are stuck on a map, usually covered in hexes, blank, unexplored, full of potential, and then they just move from hex to hex and see what's on each hex, usually using a random encounter table to determine what's there. Sometimes a GM story guide, whatever you want to call it, may have a fixed encounter in that space. And this is just a series of linked vignettes leading into scene 1, but also setting up the finale. The word, it left my brain. Oh yeah, Plastic Cage Plays. I was on steroids for a 6-month period, and I know that I know that feel. It's not great, but the body's weird. Just making sure everything's working on the overlay. Everything's working on the overlay. Fantastic. Yeah, so I've already discussed on the show the importance of word counts. Discussed this episode the importance of word counts, and you know, writing to them. One thing I will continue to hammer in to anyone watching the show is that this is an artificially extended process. Each of these scenes I would ordinarily be able to write in about an afternoon's worth of work. So if you're watching this and you're 6 episodes in, you're barely into scene 2, don't take this as an exemplar. It's not. It's just because I'm talking a lot. You'll find your own rhythm, you'll find how you work best, and no doubt you'll succeed and write faster than I'm writing on this show. I know that I can knock out 1,500 to about 2,500 words in an afternoon. That is not sustainable, in my experience. 1,500 is. So I always aim for 1,500. And then if I catch myself doing 2,000 for more than 3 days in a row, and I'm like, just stop, take a day off. As long as the deadline's not too close, obviously. Take a day off, get back to it after resting, because your brain will definitely need it. I'm talking about writing and Hot Dog Wizard, and I'm talking about aging. But hey, that's what the chat room's for. I'm just going to ignore you, okay? Twitch chat doesn't have to be focused. I have to be focused. My apologies. No worries, Hot Dog Wizard. No worries at all. Thank you for swinging by. Thank you for the resub. Your speed limit's 2k as well, but you've been close to 8k. Hey, Plastic Age Plays, just rest. Just take some time to yourself and rest. Practice what you preach, because the 1,500 to 2k I got from you. As a sustainable rate, anyway. But I that's a place of privilege. I have the time to rest. Mixed blessing, I guess. Means I'm not getting paid, but my health is important. I learned this last year. So, yes. Do as I say, not as I do. Exactly. I mean, we're all guilty of it. I think freelance writing attracts a certain kind of individual, and by and large, that has been borne out by my experience. Just trying to find where I got to. Oh, yes, I need the... so... Fun fact, chat. I learned this yesterday. The 3 asterisks, or the... Nope. The 3 bullet points next to each other. I can't remember the ASCII code for that, unfortunately. So... Nope. Hang on. I've done something in Microsoft Word. I can't remember it. Anyway, the three bullet points next to each other, like that, but, center aligned. That's called a dinkus, I think it was. I'll double check. But hey, these are the fun facts we learn as a writer. 3 spaced asterisks or bullet symbols in a horizontal row. It's like an ellipsis, but fancy. There we go. The more you know. I have closed everything, including what I need open. But there we go. I need to get rid of that because it's counting towards my word limit. Okay, so just have a couple of extra spaces there. So I know where chapter break happens. Hang on. If I recall correctly, is it 1, 2, 3? It is. Insert my own chapter break. Go me. That's just 3 hyphens, and then you press enter, and it puts a horizontal line across the page for you. Not that I'm advocating doing layout in Microsoft Word. It's doable, but I mean, so is listening to Vogon poetry. Vogon poetry? One of the two. I can never. I'm a fake Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan. Someone no doubt will correct me. So we'll talk about procedural scenes, and the way those work in the Trinity Continuum game line is there is a core clue that Vogon, hell yeah. A core clue that will that will always be found to progress the investigation. It's there to provide the key information for the scene, and then an alternative clue, which could require a a check, a roll, whatever you want to call it, or just looking in a specific place or doing something specific, and then that will give you additional information to build upon and to build your understanding of the scene on. The trick about writing these in 200 words is being hella concise. I have discussed read aloud text, which is what the italicized text is before, how some GMs don't like it. I personally don't care for it. I'll use it to provide key information, which I'll then summarize to the players, or do my own way. But some GMs really like it, some story guys really like it. Sorry, I've been writing material for other game lines recently, and everything has its own word for it. So that's why it's there. So according to my outline from the water source, we go to the abandoned outpost. And then we stick a heading 2 on that, because I think that's heading 2. Yup. Sorry, I'm just catching up to where I was and what I wrote last time. I didn't have time to read this morning, unfortunately. I don't recommend being a volunteer chair of any organization. It saps all of your time. Cool. Follow the wheelbarrow track. That's what I figured. So, we've had a very video gamey, you have arrived at the opening of the level. What a surprise, the cast can go no further because the trees are too close together. You must go on foot from here. And to be fair, if you have a better way of thinking of... start that again. If when you are writing material, planning scenes for home games, whatever it is, you don't naturally think in the traditional terms of prose, any form of storytelling is valid as inspiration for your structure. You will have your own style of storytelling and of creating content. This is just one way of doing it, and you can take it however you wish. Obviously, if you want to lean into the themes of a role-playing game and you're more of a video game person, then you can find games that emulate those themes. Like I'm thinking here of, for this specifically, like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, things of that nature, where there's a vaguely plausible explanation as to why you have to go on foot from the opening of the level in this exotic location. So yeah, that's it. Follow the wheelbarrow tracks to an abandoned outpost. This would be probably a semi-permanent structure. I'm just thinking things through. I like to have things narratively consistent. So that, yeah, this would be probably a semi-permanent structure that has been overtaken by the forest. So that would be, like a prefabbed building, but then there's no easy vehicle access unless it's by air, which is technically not impossible in this time period, but people may have noticed a blimp flying over the rainforest. So it's probably stuff that they had to carry in on foot, or there's a nearby river. This will be on the banks of a river because that just makes it easy, but then why are they going to the water source? Never mind, no nearby river. Well, there may be a nearby river, but this spring is closer. So it's almost definitely something that was put together on site by material carried here, so that means it's probably just made of wood and sheet metal, maybe dug into the ground, a bunker style thing. I think that works. Hopefully that was an illuminating train of thought. I don't know if it was or not, but here we are. Yeah, I think that works. The open door of the bunker in the clearing ahead. Right, so fantastic. Creeks. And the really annoying thing is I'm doing this now, and I have to do this again for a game that I'm running on Start Playing, like later or tomorrow, and it's such a different vibe Hello, Mike. Wait, I know that name. That's an Onyx Path related name, I believe. But welcome. Good morning. It's such a different vibe. The hoops we go through as GMs, story guides, and contract writers. Up door of the bunker in the clearing ahead creaks in the wind. It's rusty hinges screaming their defiance. That's not how you spell defiance. Mike's running adventure on Monday nights. Ah, that's why I knew the name. That's why I knew the name. How is that going, Mike? I like that phrase, but it's not working for me in this context. Rusting sheet metal almost falling from its hinges. So I got like 5 lines of, yeah. I got 200 words. 200 words always sounds a lot, but take it from me, it's not. There is a distinct reason that when given the choice, I write advice, enemies, shout out to Eddie in the Pugmire game line, or mechanical stuff. Adventures, you always seem like you have a lot of word count, but you really don't. The rusting sheet metal almost falling from its hinges. A Aldrin tarpaulin hangs from some trees nearby. The motorcycle, I guess that's what it would be called. Yeah. I'm trying to think when motorbike would be common parlance. The motorcycle beneath it, barely sheltered from the elements. What else? I think that's good. This outpost was dug into the soft earth of the clearing and capped with a small wooden building. The bunker is largely empty and unpowered. The generator long since taken elsewhere. That's one word, you fool. What is the core clue? What does my outline say the core clue is? Here we are. Someone built it and abandoned it recently. Okay, so for me, that would suggest that the core clue is that there's something nearby, probably either around the door or the motorcycle, as those are 2 things that the text has specifically called attention to, so the players will probably look at those. And if you're writing your own content and you want your players to notice something, don't rely on them doing a second look, just front load that information. The easiest thing in this time period would be a dated newsletter. Well, old motorcycle's probably gonna have a leak somewhere, right? And that's why it's still there. It was just broken. The motorcycle has a leaky fuel tank that has been booked with a newsletter dated a month earlier. The motorcycle beneath it barely sheltered from the elements, and in a state of partial disassembly. There we go. That should, in theory, encourage the players to look at the motorcycle. That said, of course, the clue is more the newsletter, the newspaper, sorry. So, and that could be anywhere in the bunker as well. That could be trapped beneath the door, could be on a table. As with previous seasons of the show and products written, I will be including a link to the playlist where all of these videos go up, so that people reading the adventure can watch the playlist if they want to go on the deep dive about why I did what I did. So that, you know, clear indication that there was people here until at least a month ago. Where do we have to go from here? Broken down vehicles. And in a state of partial disassembly. And I've said broken down vehicles, there could easily be a river nearby. Heck it, we're sticking with the bunker. I like the abandoned bunker aesthetic. Particularly as anything could be in the bunker. A narrow uneven track leads further into the jungle. So if they don't want to investigate this outpost, they can just head further into the jungle. I think that's 100 words. 109 words. Well, sorry. Yeah, 109. It ends in a 9. So that's the core clue. The alternative clue to give a bit more context to whatever is happening. If we put a clue with the motorcycle, should probably put a clue in the bunker itself. I mean, honestly, there's no reason it can't just be as easy as exploring the bunker. What alternative clue types are there? Raw information, interpretation, question and answer, delayed player creation. What information would be relevant here that isn't already being provided by a different clue in the outline? The broken down vehicle is going to have Nazi insignia on them. Paleontological dig, dinosaurs. Oh, right. We have the party on the blimp in the first scene. Let's have a reference to that, shall we? What would that look like? As there is not particularly a perception roll in Trinity Continuum. I don't want it to just be a locked briefcase that's been left behind that needs to be picked, because scene 1 has a locked briefcase in it that needs to be picked to give you files. Oh, I know what it could be. I know what it could be. I guess composure, larceny plus composure or dexterity to take the newspaper out of the fuel tank. Newspaper can be retrieved with a... Oh god, Josie's here. There goes the neighborhood. Welcome in, Josie. Thank you for the resub, for that 30-month resub. That is an impressive length of time. Newspaper can be retrieved with a difficulty 2. Larceny plus dexterity or composure roll. And includes a story about a flying soiree to take place over a nearby stretch of jungle. Nearby stretch of forest? I don't know if I've been referring to it as forest or jungle, whatever. So there's your alternative clue, just tying everything in together. Obviously now the bunker has been ignored, there's no information there. So let's provide, and I've got a couple of 57 words left. Bunker is an ideal place for the characters to scavenge equipment and supplies. Anyone investigating it realizes that the inhabitants left in a hurry. And I still have 32 words to play around with. Look at that. That's efficiency, chat. That is absolute efficiency. Unfortunately, this is typically how my writing goes on contract writing. I come in under word count and then have to figure out where I can add stuff that isn't just adding it for the sake of extra content and words. You know, making a meaningful contribution to the material. Scavenge equipment and supplies. Although no firearms or explosives have been left behind. I do, as I'm talking about like writing advice and stuff, I do constantly wonder if anyone's really interested in this kind of content, but I'm doing it anyway. And also, you know, from the outside, there is maybe some mystique around the largely impenetrable world of freelance writing, about the expectations and things of that nature. As the inhabitants left in a hurry, as what was left behind is scattered and throughout the handful of rooms. One thing you can use to spot AI is when it tries to pad out writing a 10th grader on an essay test. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. I also just want to, I think I said this last time, but speaking of AI writing, you can pry the M-dash Alt 0151 from my Cold Dead Hands AI, or generative AI. It's mine. As is the semicolon. We've got a whole generation of writers who are like, it's a mine. All mine. We're just hoarding semicolons and M-dashes like a dragon hoards treasure. There's also the slightly uncanny valley writing style, where things technically make sense, but obviously all generative AI is a glorified predictive text machine, so scattered throughout the handful of rooms. It's probably why AI uses them, because it's stealing from us. Oh, absolutely. It's like, this is included in this writing, and therefore it is, you know, what's supposed to happen. And then a handful of people went, no one uses end dashes, no one uses semicolons. What? Clearly this is fake. Reading or listening to written content and suddenly realizing it's AI is borderline infuriating. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a disclaimer, because if you're here, you might be interested in the tabletop industry in general. Disclaimer, this is my opinion. Anything I'm about to say does not reflect Onyx Path as a whole. This is purely my personal opinion and frustrations and thoughts. There is a large convention here in the UK, I'm not naming names, that not only doesn't have any prohibition against generative AI content in products sold on the trade floor. Its awards don't have any prohibitions against generative AI, and well, the last time I checked, certainly. And its social media accounts have been promoting like crowdfunding campaigns that obviously, like incredibly obviously, use generative AI, and it's great. It's so good, but it's big, and therefore we can't do anything about it. As so, for context, as well as a freelance writer, I am a volunteer chair for a network, I guess, just to support tabletop people in the UK, and you know, we're all like, please stop this, but we can't. You know, we're all too small, and even the organization as a whole is too small to have any bargaining power. It's frustrating. Anyway, back to what we're here for, and not complaining about generative AI, because if you want to see complaining about generative AI, just follow my social media. It's comradebubbles.bsky.social. Do you see what I did there? That was some slick self-promotion. Bunker is largely empty and unpowered, the generator long since taken elsewhere. It consists of an office, a barracks, and a... Should be more active on B-Sky. I mean, be as active as you want to be. It's social media. I go through periods where I post a reasonable amount, and periods where I just repost. Kind of forgot that place existed. Totally fair. Consists of an office, a barracks, a rec room, and a galley/storeroom. Okay, I've gone over by 3 words. Gasp. Who is this? Well, I think if the door is creaking in the wind, it's implied to be open, so I can immediately remove the word open from the flavor text. The rusting sheet metal almost falling from its hinges. A mouldering tarpaulin hangs from some trees nearby. The motorcycle beneath it barely sheltered from the elements and in a state of partial disassembly. I think in a state of disassembly implies that it's partial, because it is not disassembled. A narrow, uneven track leads further into the jungle. That just gives the player character somewhere to go afterwards. Soundpost was dug into the earth of the clearing and capped with a small wooden building. The bunker is largely empty and unpowered. The generator long since taken elsewhere. It consists of an office, a barracks, a rec room, and a galley/storeroom. That's all one word anyway. The bunker is an ideal place for the characters to scavenge equipment and supplies, although no firearms or explosives have been left behind. Anyone investigating it realizes that the inhabitants left in a hurry, as what was left behind is scattered throughout a handful of rooms. The motorcycle has a leaky fuel tank that's been plugged with newspaper dated a month earlier. The newspaper can be retrieved with a difficulty 2, last need plus dexterity or composure roll. Skill, and then attribute first. No, never the other way around, chat. Learn from my mistake. Includes a story about a flying soiree to take place over a nearby to take place. That takes place soon. Boom. Scene. Well, vignette done. What's the next one? I think it's broken down vehicles. Yep. Do a quick internal wellness check. I think I'm good to go for a bit longer. Probably try to finish this little vignette and then think about wrapping up. Going back to what I said about artificially extended. Yes, that's only about 400 words, but it's very draining talking about what you're writing while you're writing it and providing, you know, feedback, not feedback, context and elaboration, and also just talking takes up writing time. Nazis were active in the area is the one clue I've given myself. Past Ryan could have been slightly more useful, I feel. The vehicles. Vehicle wrecks lying in the vehicle wrecks blocking the path ahead. There we go. Trapped by a tree, likely felled in a recent storm. And painted in jungle camouflage. Camouflage is a weird word. I guess it's because it's, what, probably French based. Painted in jungle camouflage. Call it painted in jungle camouflage. I guess just having the core clue be the fact that they're Nazi vehicles could be elaborated on slightly. Painted in jungle camouflage. Would there be streaks and wood dried on them if it's a rainforest? Rainforests rain a lot. That's kind of the whole point of the name. French sneak that you in. Oui. If you want a truly cursed word, chat, Josie, I don't know if this is a thing where you are or not. So, obviously, the French word for yes is oui. I learned during my A-level, sorry, that there is also the ouais, which is kind of like, yeah. But to make that make sense, they added an A and an S. So it's O-U-A-I-S, which it looks and sounds cursed. So here we are. Cool. It's not just a thing with the people I was learning French among. It's just so cursed looking. It's 3 vowels and I can't 4 vowels and I can't explain it, but they're in the wrong order. It sounds good though. Like it's got good mouthfeel as a word. Leaves and other plant matter have piled up around the wheels. So this is why you should never have a neurodivergent person run a writing workshop. Oh no, it makes total sense because that is the sound you're making. You know, with French pronunciation, it just looks cursed. I speak French day these days, so I guess I'm being desensitized. Fair. You love Britpop? I'm excited to see where this is going. Leaves another plant matter of powder around the wheels and a handful of small animals. Run from the convoy as you approach. Context there being, oh, it's an Oasis joke. I get it. I don't like Oasis, but that's on me. Sorry, neurodivergence. It just kicked in. It just reminded me of the ridiculous Oasis joke in The Dragon Prince. Vehicle wrecks are there because that's kind of the focus of the vignette. That's where the core clue is. Trapped by a tree. That's why they're there. They're destroyed. The other stuff is to imply that they've been there for some time, because they have, and to give everything in this scene is trying to demonstrate that the Nazis have been here long enough to have a fully functioning, like, lab. Oh yeah, Plastic Age plays. When they go to the desert, there's an oasis. Ringed by, and I quote, "Anyway, here's our Wonderwall." Wonderwall being an Oasis song. And it makes me so angry every single time. I cannot explain why it does. It just does. It is. And the really annoying thing is, it's one of the best sequences in the show. At least for that storyline. For Calma and Raya's storyline. Anyway. Need to watch the later seasons. Trauma response. I think it's the same... Isn't that also where there's the joke about Calum's voice actor being Sokka, because there's a boomerang? He's like, hey, it looks familiar. I think that's in the desert as well. Anyway, here I am. We're back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about. I mean, you could talk about what you want in your chat room. There's no rule. I mean, there are rules here, and I'm a moderator, and I won't enforce them, but still. The vehicle. Hang on. Let's do this properly. Let's do some edumacation. 1930s German 4x4. I'm assuming, obviously, Volkswagen will have made a 4x4, but Mercedes. Okay, I did not realize that. The Mercedes-Benz staff car that everyone thinks about when they think of the Nazis and their staff cars, actually a 4x4. It's an off-road vehicle. That's pretty cool. Obviously, the Nazis not pretty cool. I just want to point that one out, but here we are. Anyway, I'm sidetracked already. This is the true writing experience. I'm going to research this thing. Half an hour later, I need to research this thing still. VW Type 82 Kübelwagen. Too late. There were monsters with slick outfits and good cars. Yup, and that has led to continuing ramifications for the internet. And obviously, you know, pop culture in real life, but I'm terminally online and I see a lot of people like adopting the outfit style without realizing the connotations. I understand it's on who offed those people, but Hugo Boss knew what he was doing. This is too early. This Google, why you like this? You know what? I'm not going to go down this research rabbit hole on stream. The vehicles are off-road. The Rex. There we go. Off-road vehicles with thick, rugged typers. What the frick? Aesthetics without context is a pack to heck. It certainly is. With thick, rugged tires and wide mud guards. Where am I going with this, chat? You know what? Let's get the core clue and the alternative clue down, because those are the key focus, and then we'll build off of those to expand the scene. The vehicles all carry external. I always misspell maintenance. It's one, you know, as writers, we all have those words that we either misspell or think are misspelled. I always misspell maintenance, and I always think instantaneous is misspelled. Never is. I've written it so much that I don't think I can misspell it, but it always looks wrong to me. Yes, I write for D&D material. What of it? What gave it away? They're called all carry external maintenance kits, stamped with the eagle, right? For Imperial Germany. Definitely is your bane. Decision is mine. See, chat. It's not just me. Or see the internet, I guess. Never spell it right first time and it always looks wrong. It does. It really does. It's weird that we all have that one word. The vehicles will carry external maintenance kits. You know what? I don't have to be realistic with this. It's a pulp action game in Trinity Continuum Adventure. I'm just going to put a swastika on it because it's painfully obvious what that means to most of the Western world. I'm all for verisimilitude, but there's a line. I don't think IE/EI ever looks right. Keep flipping them. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's the rule of thumb is I before E, except after C. Except there's actually more words that break that rule than confirm it. So here we are. Also still confused on the rules of compound words. In English, Josie? Or in other languages? Because a lot of the time in English you stick a hyphen in it. Although apparently not in Mudguards. Which is a word I rarely have cause to write. Yeah, no, that could be a bit weird. English doesn't have rules, it has contradictory suggestions. That is fair. Yeah, I didn't expect to be Dutch or German because, I mean, I know enough German to know that compound words in German are relatively easy, and Dutch is German adjacent, if you will. A Germancent? I'm just going to butcher the language now. Haha, you can't stop me. Stamp with a swastika. And try Afrikaans? Oh, please no. Afrikaans is what? Dutch and German mushed together? I assume there's another language influencing it as well, based on, you know, where it is in the world. While I'm trying to think about how to phrase this properly, my old German teacher always said that speaking Swedish was like speaking German with a cold. I suppose English compound words that too, but it's usually only 2 words. Oh, Afrikaans descends from Dutch and only Dutch? I apologise. While we're talking about language influences, I do want to apologise to every developer I've ever had and will ever have. I see nothing wrong with the very long sentences that German produces, and I write that way in English. They're always grammatically correct, but I absolutely see the problem when the developer hands me a note with like, hey, this sentence is 5 lines long, please break it up. Instead of Metro, say Mole Train. Instead of Dreadnought, they say you don't have to fear anything, boat. I mean, that's... To be fair, that's literally what Dreadnought means. Fear nothing. And containing... advanced tools? Let's say technologically advanced tools. In Dutch, it's not translated literally. Gotcha. I misunderstood. I apologize. In Afrikaans it is, which is hilarious. Ah, I see, I see. Containing technologically advanced tools, the purpose of which is unknowable as the vehicle engines. Right, this is going to have to be one vehicle. Vehicle wreck. A vehicle wreck. Blocks the path ahead. Comma, trapped by a tree. M dash, because you don't want loads of commas in quick succession. Oops. Please. I don't want a space, I want an M dash. They were coming for it, chat. They were coming for it. It's an off-road vehicle with the vehicle carries an external maintenance kit as its engine was destroyed by the tree. And then the alternative clue. So we've got the first one is an alternative clue that Germans. Second one, alternative clue, points towards the blimp. The next vignette will be here are dinosaurs. I must food, I shall lurk though. Sure thing, enjoy your food, Plastic Age plays. Chameleon is changing colour, little guy. I mean, they are just little guys. There's absolutely nothing wrong there. Sorry, important message on Discord. What other thing do we want as an alternative clue? Maybe... Oh... Probably point towards the robot thing. I think that's the only thing that hasn't been foreshadowed so far. So that would almost certainly be a technology role of some kind. Probably technology and intellect. Making a difficulty 2. Technology plus intellect roll. When studying the damaged engine. No, it was destroyed. When studying the engine. When studying what remains of the engine. There we are. Reveals that Several components seem to relate to remote controls or self-driving capabilities, because this is a pulp world where such things can happen, unlike our real world, where self-driving vehicles are often piloted by someone in, I believe, the Philippines was the latest revelation. Take rugged tires and wide mudguards. Okay, what else do we want to elaborate on about the contextual information for the scene? The track continues past it. And the fallen tree. And the sounds of water can be faintly heard. Anyone investigating? The passenger compartment. Let's say just anyone investigating the car discovers blood on the cracked, I'm going to say windscreen because that's what we use in the UK. Windscreen on the driver's side. About head height. The passenger seats are conspicuously bare of clues, save for an open rack that obviously held a box of some kind in place of the front passenger seat. Footprints can be made made out in the mud, leading from the wreck further into the jungle. Regular vehicle blocks the path ahead, trapped by a tree, likely felled in a recent storm, painted in jungle camouflage. Leaves another plant matter of powder around the wheels and a handful of small animals run from the convoy as you approach. The wreck is an off-road vehicle with thick, rugged tires and wide mud guards. The track continues past it and the fallen tree, and the sounds of water can be faintly heard. The faint sounds of water can be heard. And faint sound of water can be heard in the distance. Anyone investigating the car discovers blood on the cracked windscreen on the driver's side about head height. The passenger seats are conspicuously bare of clues, save for an open rack that obviously held a box of some kind in place of the front passenger seat. Deep footprints can be made out in the mud, leading from the wreck further into the jungle. Core clue: the vehicle carries an external maintenance kit stamped with a swastika and containing technologically advanced tools, the purpose of which is unknowable, the purpose of which are unknowable. It's relating to the tools, but no, it's relating to the purpose of which is unknowable, as its engine was destroyed by the tree. Alternative clue: making it difficult to two technology plus intellect roll and studying what remains of the engine reveals that several components seem to relate to remote controls or self-driving capabilities. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm 5 words over. Passenger seats are unremarkable, save for an open rack that held a box of some kind in place of the front passenger seat. Open rack is the wrong word. Bracket is also kind of the wrong word. Cage, I guess. Cage. That is bolted into the chassis in place of the front passenger seat. An open cage, kind of implying that they're carrying something that can be secured. You know, let's specify it's unlocked, because that implies that it's open and also that it can be secured if need be. Well, there we go. I think, based on how my brain is feeling and how my ability to write and word good has, and just focus has started to drift. Holdy thing, exactly, you get it, Mike. I think that's probably going to be it for now. Apologies, ordinarily I would continue on for a bit longer and do the third one, aim for about 2 hours, but I have to look after my health more than anything else. Otherwise, I'm no good when I get drafts back, and I'm hoping to get drafts back soon. As mentioned at the start of the episode, the best place to get any information on Onyx Path games and things of that nature, the Monday meeting notes and the pertinent information right now is that right now on BackerKit there is a crowdfunding campaign running for the Devil's Guide, a player's manual for the World Below, and Secrets of Calm and Chaos, a story guide's handbook for the World Below, both running at the same time in the same campaign. My understanding is that there is material pertinent for both players and story guides in both books. If you have enjoyed the show because of me, you can follow me on Blue Sky, comradebubbles.bsky.social. I believe my links can be found. There we are. Can be found there. I do also stream on Twitch. I'll be going live in about half an hour-ish. It will be a lot more chill for me. I'm just playing through Mass Effect at the minute, so if anyone wants to swing by there and just chat while I do that, that's fine. Mass Effect 2 specifically. Always happy to talk about role-playing content, and occasionally I do run actual plays over there, but that one hasn't happened for a while, just to manage expectations. If you've enjoyed the show and you want to catch up on past episodes, those are all available on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@comradebubbles. They're in a playlist organised by season, and each season is a different game line and product. Some of the old ones are a bit rough now, but they're useful as archival content and just to see where I've come from. This was episode 90, so there are a few for you to watch, and I think it was the previous season. I think it was the previous season. You actually get 2 products in one, because I went on a slight tangent as I did to plug my products in one season. If you missed the start of the episode and would like to see it from the beginning, if you are subscribed, and we've had a few resubs during today's stream, so thank you again to those people subscribing. If you're subscribed, you can watch the show whenever you want. Congratulations, you get instant access to videos on demand. If you're not subscribed, you have to wait a week, at which point you can watch it here on the Twitch channel, and you can watch it on my YouTube channel. I realized after 88 episodes that I could schedule uploads. I didn't have to remember to upload them myself. So last week's last one, the last episode of the show was the first one I scheduled. And hey, it turns out that's how you get them out live on time. Who would have thunk it, chat? Who would have thunk it? I certainly didn't. As we are heading to episode 100, if there's anything you'd like to see me do for that episode, please do let me know. I was thinking maybe trying to organize a writers' roundtable for community content writers, but I don't know what value that has, and that kind of thing is usually dealt with at OpCon anyway. Hopefully there's an OpCon this year. I think I saw there was going to be one. I could be wrong about that. Regardless, on top of the backer kit, also on sale this week. On top of the backer kit, additionally on sale this week is a tasty bit for StoryPath Ultra titled Troublesome Traps. So if you're looking for traps for your StoryPath Ultra games, or technically, sorry, any games that use the StoryPath system, you could probably slot those traps into it. So keep an eye out for that on Wednesday. That is tomorrow. And last week was the Curseborn Tasty Bit Omnibus, VTT tokens and streaming overlays. Looping all the way back to a previous topic of conversation, if you're not subscribed to the Twitch channel and do want to watch this content, as soon as possible, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch account, and currently that gives you a Prime Gaming account, which gives you one free subscription every month. You have to remember to renew it. It does not auto renew, but it gives you and the channel the same benefits as if you used a tier 1 subscription. Actually, I haven't used mine in some time, so I'm pretty sure it's available still. And where is it? Oh god, it's not. Oh, there it is. Use Prime Sub. Subscribe with Prime! I'm putting my money where my mouth is, chat. Congratulations. I did it. Thank you to me for subscribing to the channel. 19-month sub anniversary. Rookie numbers. Regardless, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I will be around in chat for a few minutes after the post-roll starts, but the next show on the channel will be Guiding the Path with Tom Moore. I'm losing the ability to speak clearly, which is always a problem. Which is kind of, as I said at the start of the episode, if this is the theory of running and writing, that is the practical of running and writing. And this week, Tom is focusing, I believe, on... where is it? Creating characters and building a narrative for the world below. I found it. Also, I'm going to get rid of the huge pop-up, because I don't need to see that. I guess we're seeing it. Yes, so if you are interested in the back kit but not 100% sold, tune in on Thursday at whenever it is. 4 p.m. Eastern to learn more about the world below and learn from Tom's incredible GMing story guiding skills. And then Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, is the Veiled Society, Assign Actual Play. And Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Trinity Continuum Adventure! Short Tales, Actual Play. Which I hope is going well. I think that covers everything. So, all being well, I will be back in 2 weeks' time. That is the 10th of March, same time, same channel. I believe it's 9 a.m. Eastern. Here at twitch.tv/OnyxPath. And we'll continue. Probably finish up this scene. I might get stuck on digressions, but... oh, hang on, no. We'll finish the vignettes for sure, but we might not finish the scene because there's a 500-word encounter to end... To cap off the scene. So we'll play that by ear. We'll see how it goes. Regardless, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. And as I want to say over on my own channel, please do stay safe. Please do stay healthy. Please do stay wholesome in these incredibly dark and trying times. And much love to you all out there on the internet. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.